So this is from Pierce, but also a few other people have asked if you have a braces update.
Okay. Dr. Y, love you. You did a terrible job of the braces. I told you you were doing a terrible job while you were doing it. I told you specifically what about it was terrible and how it was going to fail. You insisted on doing it that way. I told you you might as well book my follow-up now because they will need to be fixed. They immediately broke within 2 days in exactly the way that I said that they would break. I came back and got them fixed. I said, this is going to happen again. It will happen immediately. And here's why. And you did it again. So I literally took a pair of needle nose pliers after 2 or 3 of them had broken off again, the brackets. I ripped them all off and I said, I'm going to a different doctor. I went to an orthodontic clinic near the office because I figured that would be convenient so I could jet over there during work and come back like on my lunch. And I got a quotation for both Train Tracks and Invisalign. They were actually not as different as I expected. So I figured, okay, I'm going to do Invisalign. I told them that. And they said, okay, we'd be happy to do Invisalign on you, but we couldn't help noticing that your top wisdom teeth are still in. The way that your mouth is right now, because you've had your bottoms out because they kept getting infected, but I didn't do the tops because I didn't want to do them all at once. And I was like, oh, my whole face is going to be like, bleh. I had such an awful experience getting the bottom ones out. I will never forget the sound it made because they were like deep, like full proper teeth, and they were like buried by gum. They had to like really get in there and like, oh, I'll never forget that feeling. I'm one of those people where the pain at the dentist isn't what really bothers me as much. I tend to be kind of, I think the term is sensory defensive. So certain textures, certain sounds, I actually find for years, this is hilarious. I went through many cavities, some without anesthetic, like for shallow ones. I went through many cavities, not realizing that the dentist drill is the one for emptying out the cavity. I thought the dentist drill was the rotary toothbrush that they use because that everyone says they hate the dentist drill, and I fucking hate that thing. Like, it makes my skin crawl. Even as a 30-something adult man, I am sitting there in the chair. The dentist is like talking to me. I have my hands clenched around something. I usually have my feet crossed without thinking about it, and I have my eyes closed while they're working on me with that thing.
Full brace,
because it is so unpleasant.
Yeah.
And so that sound, no, they did not knock me out, those of you asking. I don't want to risk going under general anesthetic for such a minor procedure. It's not worth it. For me, that is my personal decision. You can go under general and not wake up. Like, that's a thing. And I was not into that. So, anyway, what was I saying? Right. So the orthodontist comes back to me and goes, yeah, so what happens then is your top wisdom teeth are not biting down on anything, which means that they can shift. Now, I would make the argument to them that the way the gums have covered and the amount the tops have come down, they're probably not going to keep falling, but that can happen. And if that happens, it'll shift all the teeth again. And so they don't want to do orthodontic work on me until I get my wisdoms out.
Makes
and I
sense.
just keep putting it off.
Yeah.
And putting it off.
Yeah.
And putting it off.
Yeah.
So
Are you gonna do it?
I want to. If you look at the bottoms,
Yeah.
it's getting kind of nasty and it's getting worse, like the way they're just like crowding up together. And particularly now that I have some more room here, maybe they can kind of fix that. And this is with disking. That was one of the most unpleasant sensory experiences that I have ever had. Do you know what disking is?
No.
Disking. So if you look at the shape of my bottom teeth, like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have kind of like a V shape. And so disking is trying to salvage back some of the space between those teeth by doing what it sounds like.
Putting discs
Taking
in
a rotary tool
Oh.
and zzz, shaving in between them. So not only was there the unpleasantness of that sensation, but there was the fear that a slip of what is essentially a Dremel tool in your mouth could be pretty awful.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying top wisdom teeth aren't as bad. I know. It's less likely to get infected because stuff doesn't like fall into it and stuff. But I just hated it. The only good thing about getting my wisdom teeth out was that I finally bought a Switch. Because I was told that I would be doing nothing but sitting and drinking liquids for days. Yeah. So I might as well get settled. And I was like, you know what? I'm finally going to get a Switch.
Yeah.
So I did. And I got completely sucked into Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I still have no regrets about, even though Nintendo is an awful, awful anti-consumer company that I should feel bad about giving money to.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching and subscribing to this week's clips. Now, you might know me as the WAN Show producer, but did you know that I'm also a lover of popcorn? That's why I want to give a special shout out to Sizzle for sponsoring this week's clips. Take a snack break, relax, watch some more clips, and get 10% off your first order of one of Sizzle's 6 delicious flavors using the link down in the video description. Delicious.